The winter had already claimed its share of lives by the time she was left behind, the kind of winter that silenced birds, split wood like bone, and turned hope into something fragile and rare. And she sat on the cabin steps day after day, counting the spaces between heartbeats because it hurt, less than counting the days since anyone last came for her. Her hands trembling, not just from cold, but from the slow realization that the town had chosen survival over mercy, leaving her with empty cupboards, frozen ground, and prayers whispered into the wind that never answered. And when her strength faded, she stopped crying because even tears cost energy she no longer had, until one grey morning the sound of footsteps crushed through the snow like thunder in her ears, and she lifted her head expecting wolves or hallucinations, but instead saw a man emerging from the trees, broad-shouldered, bearded, carrying a sack heavy enough to bend him forward, his boots scarred by miles of solitude, his eyes sharp but cautious, as if kindness were a risk he hadn't taken in years. And when he saw her curled on the steps like a shadow of a person, he stopped, not out of fear, but shock, because he recognized that look, the look of someone the world had already buried, and without speaking he set the sack down, knelt, and placed a piece of bread into her shaking hands, and she stared at it as if it were unreal, afraid to believe, afraid to hope. But hunger overruled doubt, and she ate while he built a fire inside the cabin with practiced hands, the kind that had survived countless winters alone, and as warmth slowly crept back into the room, she began to cry. Not loud or dramatic, just quiet broken sobs that carried months of abandonment, and he didn't interrupt, didn't ask questions, only listened, because he understood that some wounds needed silence more than words. And when night fell, he stayed, despite knowing the danger, despite knowing that caring could cost him the hard solitude he had built to protect himself from loss. And over the following days he returned again and again, bringing food, chopping wood, fixing the roof, teaching her how to trap and store, not as a savior, but as someone who refused to let cruelty have the final word. And she learned that he too had been abandoned once, left after loss had carved him hollow, choosing the forest over people, because trees didn't betray, and slowly, without promises, something stronger than survival formed between them, a shared understanding that sometimes rescue doesn't come with speeches or miracles, just steady footsteps through snow